Why, hi, Mac, and anyone who might be watching episode 81. I'm still discombobulated because my main computer dead. So using this old Mac laptop and hoping for the best for another couple days. Here's the story. Hip Cat, which is pretty awesome. It's by Jonathan London, illustrated by Woodley Hubbard. I remember reading this to the kids. I thought it was so cool. Hip Cat. Feel like jazz. Um, It says, I'm trying to get a good view here. He was a hip cat, a cool cat. Nope, I read that wrong. He was a hip cat, a cool cat, living all alone on a riverside shack. Ooby doo John, the sax man, scat man, the cool cat man. One day he said to himself, all I want to do is make jazzy music. So he picked up his sax, what his friends called his axe, and tipped his beret and said, scat cat, go, hip daddy cat, hip cat, Daddy O's got a horn to blow, and that cat scat. Woo doo doo doo. It says he hopped on the night train, the faster than light train, and in no time he came to a city by a bay. It was a bebop, rebop city, a bongo congo roller coaster, jazz in your bones city. Wow. Minnie's can do. Hip cat moseyed along, singing his song, swinging his sax. He slipped into Minnie's can do on Fillmore and said, sweet Minnie, I want to blow my horn. Big Max, the Manx cat, was reading poetry at the mic, stomping the floor to the rhythm of his words. And when he was through, our hip cat hero with the horn to blow blew. His sax bobbed and swung, screeched, and wait, am I reading that right? Skonked, purred, and barked. The cats in the club said, go, cat, go, and Hip Cat wailed into that horn. He wailed his song of longing, his song of joy, his song of loneliness and looniness. Must have been a pretty good song. And the crowd went crazy. The joint was jumping, toes tapping, and cats bopping, chairs dancing, and shadows hopping. Oomy doo wee. Let's see. Boopy, blah, 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 shooby wah, bing, bang, blam, shooby wah, diddy, my cat. Is a kitty still tapping his toes and bobbing his head? Hip Cap stopped blowing and started ooby dooby instead. His new fans loved him and many hugged him. He was a bad cat, a mad cat, a rad cat. Woohoo! Sounds like a good night out. It says, but Minnie could only pay him with peanuts. Now he was penniless, hip cat daddy o with a tail to tell and a tail to wail. He hit all the jazz joints in town looking for a gig that would pay the rent. He was getting tired of living in a tent, but the joints were owned by the top dogs. If cats wanted to make it, they couldn't fake it. He said, if dogs can run free, why not me? So Ooby Doo played his sax under the bridge. He played in the fog and he played on the ridge. He played all day and he played all night. He played for no pay, but he kept up the fight. Whoopie doopie boo boo. It says, but he had to eat and there was no money in sight, so he played his sax at all the tourist traps. Tourists with cameras tossed coins in his cap. Then he became a short order cook at the doggy diner. But he knew he could do something a whole lot finer. Doggy diner. One night he slipped back into Minnie's can do, and Minnie said, Ooby Doo, how do you do? Ooby Doo said, I'm feeling kind of blue, and Minnie said, sing it, you can do. But Big Max and some Minx cats and some cats and minks were jamming on their axes, playing some licks. They said, who's that cat from the sticks? Then they remembered and shouted, Ooby Doo, what do you do? Let that cat out of the zoo. So he blew his horn all bluesy and forlorn, and he started singing better than ever, remembering the river where he was born. And it says, let me follow it. Ooby doo, blah, blah, blah. So wee bop, mama, bing, bang, blam. Shooby wah, diddy, my cat is a kitty. Dooby doo, blah. That's quite the jazz song. Then it says, and pretty soon word got around, even the top dogs paid top dollar for Ooby Doo to wail at all the clubs. He played in the Hungry Eye, he played in the Hungry You, he played in the Purple Onion, and when he was through, the crowds went hog wild. Now, wherever he went in style. He tore down his tent and he paid the rent. He ate tall ice creams and paid all his bills, and they called him a jazz magician, a great musician, and a poet of the blues. And when he rode the cable cars over the hills, his feet flew out in his shiny new shoes, and Ooby Doo shouted, "Oh, do what you love to do and do it well." He's very cool. He was a hip cat daddy-o with a tale to tell. He told it with his music and his ooby doo wah diddy, wah shooby wah day. My cat is a kitty and we play all day. Even the fat cats and the river cats back home listened to his music on the radio, and they called him one cool daddy-o. There he is. He was a hip cat, a hep cat, a cool cat, a bad, mad, rad cat. Ooby Doo John, the sax man, scat man, the long, sleek cat man. That's in there. The end. Whew! I told you it was a pretty fancy book. So I think it was a good partnership between this author and illustrator because they nailed it. Love you.